Northwestern students are stereotypically known for consistently being on the grind and living up to the Nerdwestern image. Economics majors here are no exception. The econ majors really work through it all, from the vicious grading system to the infamous difficulty of Econ 201 to the extremely competitive consulting clubs. In fact, some work through it too well, and that brings us to the most common generalization of econ majors, the econ bro.
You've probably heard of them, and maybe you even know one. They embody the work hard, play hard model in their professional business suits. They solve problem sets and midterms on weekdays, and then go talk about stocks and savings at weekend parties, all with the goal of one day becoming rich.
So NBN decided to find out, are all econ majors econ bros, and are all econ bros econ majors?
We brought in one econ major from NBN to see if she could spot the fake econ major among 3 other econ majors. She will go through 3 rounds of interviewing the students, and in each round she will eliminate one person she thinks is an econ major until she's left with the person she thinks is the fake. Let the games begin.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm a junior and I go by she, her pronouns.
Hi, my name's Rav. I'm a sophomore and I go by he, him pronouns.
Hi, my name's Michael. I'm a sophomore and I go by he, him pronouns.
Hi, I'm Jonathan. I'm also a sophomore and I go by he, him.
Okay, so what's our main strategy, I guess?
I feel like a lot of econ stuff, I feel like there's an association with econ and Greek life or things like that.
Oh, for sure.
So I feel like if anyone has a really strange just out there extracurricular, that maybe everything's kind of econ-ish, but I guess I'm starting to be a barista, so that might be not econ.
The thing is, who do we want to make seem like the non-econ major?
Oh, who's the sacrificial lamb?
I can be the sacrificial. I can be a math major and play into the math major.
No, you should be something completely different.
I should be something completely different. Okay.
Theater or something.
Theater. I can't. No. I cannot.
Or why do you like econ? And if it's I want money. Kind of just going through the different motives that typical econ people have.
I mean, we can all just act like full-fledged econ majors.
Sure.
Hi, my name is Jessica. My pronouns are she, her. My major is econ and history, and I'm a first year. Do you want to go into consulting?
Absolutely. I love money.
Absolutely not.
No.
Yeah, I'm considering it. What would you describe a stereotypical econ major to be? You got that frat bro sort of stereotype, but also econ majors here are pretty collaborative. They're definitely very consulting or iBanking driven.
The stereotype is that they're all in it for money, which that to varying degrees that's true.
And very nerdy and awkward people that are very just econ nerds.
Either they know they want to do the IB consulting route, others are a little bit unsure, but at the end of the day, I think, a lot of collaboration.
I don't know how to narrow it down more. Can I pull up my homework question?
We're doing your homework for her. 201. Oh my god, it's
All 4 of us collectively. I'll give you a choice. Do you want income accounting or inflation?
Inflation.
So this is where the collaboration is really going to come in.
We're all at the same.
How do you calculate GDP deflator?
Oh my god, that's the one I don't.
I'll just start this off. I know that you have to have a base year and kind of compare the years. There's nominal and then there's real. So it's really comparing the difference between the two.
Yeah, I think GDP deflator was a percentage, so it'd probably be real. I know you have to have a basket. GDP deflator, oh my god, oh no, wait, no, it's GDP, you don't have to have a basket. Oh no. I forget. Okay.
We're not econ kids, Turns out we're all poli-sci.
Yeah. Who do you think is an econ major?
Probably him. I think you're definitely an econ major.
Okay.
When people first meet you, do they normally think you're an econ major or assume that you are?
No, not really. I mean, I'm double major with math. So people usually lean towards the math side rather than the econ side.
Maybe. I guess. I think I probably have the look for it. But, like, I don't know. I don't think my personality really reads like super fratty. So
I'd say same. I'm not associated with like any club that might kind of give the impression. And I'm also minoring in CS, so I feel like that also plays a part in it. But I don't know. I feel like most people haven't really come up to me and like been super surprised. So
Have you thought about switching your major from econ to something else?
totally. I think a lot of the intro and intermediate classes are totally like weed out courses, and a ton of them are pretty hard too. So I've thought about it a lot of times. I've thought about like data science, stats, CS.
Not really, actually. I've thought more about switching out of my math major than my econ major.
since my other major is like pretty, yeah. I have.
Who do you think is definitely an econ major? So who would you eliminate for this round?
You.
Okay.
I hope. As an aspiring econ major myself, what is some advice that you would have for me?
Find friends and find a group to work with. It's very helpful. Like, I have my friends for 310-1, and it's like, honestly, it's such a lifeline. It's great.
Also, like, there's a curve. Like, I feel like I was not used to that before. I think it's more important to like just see what you're into for the beginning of college rather than like try to get all your major requirements done.
What do you plan to do in the future as a career?
I want to be a professor of environmental economics.
I'm not really sure. Also, what like internships I get, like what opportunities are blocked off from there.
Who would you say is definitely an econ major?
I think you, just because you said like professor of environmental economics, I feel like you can't really do that without an econ major.
So why did you choose him as the non-econ major?
Because you didn't consider consulting was what took me off first. You don't have econ vibes, or I guess your answers are more generally applicable to other majors.
Can you turn around and close your eyes? And everyone else walk back up. Okay, and you can turn around and open your eyes again. The non-econ majors go for it.
I feel like when I excluded you, that would have been like, this is definitely to trip me up. You just gave econ. Like, you talked a lot.
Yeah, that's his real major.
CS. Engineering. Okay.
Imaginary engineering.
I don't know what that is.
Industrial. So the most common kind of industrial engineering job would probably be, if you think of like your airlines, like your United or your Delta, like they have like flights flying out like 10, 20 times out of like an airport every hour, and so you have to deal with the takeoff and landing, and then you have to make sure planes don't crash into each other, which is actually really hard to do because like there's so many flights across the United States every year. So it's figuring out kind of that network and planning through that. That is a logistically challenging kind of thing that industrial engineers do.
Were you ever an econ major at any point? Okay.
I have considered potentially petitioning to add. I do think the econ department's decision to curve courses is deterrent, still to be seen.
You voted out Hannah in the second round. Why was that?
You talked a lot about like specific frat business stuff, I guess, and also you got really into it, and I didn't think anyone would be that good of an actor. So not to like diminish your acting skills, but.
And then for the rest of you who are already econ majors, what are some things that you wish that people would know about econ majors?
I would say that the intro courses are definitely harder. That's what I wish I knew, and I'm glad I kind of stuck through it. I'd say also like the curve, and maybe just how big consulting is here. I didn't realize how big it was until I stepped foot in the campus and went to like the club fair.
I think with like economics, the quality of the professors really shine through, and it's like really great to have that.
I just say, do what makes you happy. And if econ makes you happy, then do it.